the moment when I was assigned the Cardiovascular Institute. In my mind, I knew that I was going to be responsible for surgical site infection surveillance, right? And then all the components, the electronic system components that go with that. But then when it was like, okay, well, you probably need to start going into the OR so you can actually observe and see those practices and engage with the surgeons and all of that. I was just like, oh my God. Like, I think that part was really, for me at that point of being a baby IP, as I say. Um, and then having to interact with surgeons that have been, working in their profession for decades, and then me having to come in and give them recommendation, that was so daunting for me. But then again, I stepped back because originally I was just like letting my mind go, like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. But I just had to take a step back and say, Shaunte, come on, use your core skill, right? In any of these situations, use your core skill. And that's exactly what I did. It's like, okay, let me come up with a solution where I can, meet with these surgeons outside of the OR, develop the relationship. So by the time I get in the OR, it's a different experience. My first experience in the OR, people were just like, what are they doing here? I had a surgeon stop what he was doing to go re-scrub his hands. He was like, I'm sure this is what you're here to see, right? Terrible experience in my mind. And so by the time I had these discussions offline, built those relationships, it transitioned to moments where I would go into the OR. I'm like, hey, this is my date around. How's everything going? I was like, oh, Shaunte, come in. They're doing an open heart surgery. Get that stool, step up here and look. And they're showing me their technique and they're describing what they're doing. I was like so in love. I was just like, this is so amazing that number one, my passion for medicine and being able to have that experience with my passion for infectious disease, and it just was a magical moment for me.